Welcome to the Yellowknife Shooting Club. In this quick video, we will cover the range standing orders for the outdoor facilities of the Yellowknife Shooting Club. The range is located to the west of the airport and south of Highway 3 on Decho Boulevard. The range consists of the following firing areas: trap range, small bore silhouette range, high power range, handgun range, and plinking range. During casual firing, if 2 or more people are shooting on one of the ranges, one must assume the duties of RSO for that range. RSOs are responsible for the safe conduct of all firing within their range. Targets are set up to ensure all bullets are directed straight down range and remain within the confines of the firing area. They are to coordinate with other area RSOs and shooters for the safe movement of personnel downrange. They are to ensure there is no handling of uncased firearms while people are downrange. They are to ensure there is no movement forward of the 100-yard line on the high power range while there is firing on the silhouette, handgun, or plinking range. And they must ensure the range signs and flags are set as required. In other words, on arrival, the red flag is raised. On departure, the red flag is lowered. Registered and prohibited firearms must be logged in each time they are brought to the range. The registry book is located on the side of the trap bin. Hearing protection is mandatory, and eye protection is recommended any time live firing is taking place. All will display a current membership badge or guest card while on the range. Pick up and dispose all spent hulls and brass. A brass recycling container is present on the high power range. Used targets are to be removed from target backers, and with other refuse, be placed in garbage cans provided. When arriving at the range, check to ensure that no one is downrange setting targets or conducting range maintenance before setting up and shooting. Never handle uncased firearms while people are downrange. All shooting will stop on all ranges when low-flying aircraft are crossing the range. No movement forward of the 100-yard line on the high power range until a ceasefire has been called on the silhouette, handgun, and plinking range and they are declared safe. There is a possible ricochet danger. The following are prohibited at any time: pointing a firearm at a person, explosive ammunition or devices, incendiary ammunition or devices, gas ammunition or devices, armor-piercing, steel core and tracer ammunition, 50 BMG ammunition, climbing on or placing targets on any berm, loading of any firearm except at the firing line and then only when it is safe to do so. As well, glass, shattering targets, appliances, electronics, and other debris are not to be used as targets. The trap range. The trap range is located on the left of the access road facing south. It is used for shotguns only, specifically of shot size 7, 7.5, 8, and 9. Targets that are acceptable to be used on this range are clay or paper targets, and all firing will take place from the designated firing path. Clays will only be thrown in the general direction of the radar tower. The shooter must be positioned forward of the hand thrower. Small bore silhouette range. The small bore silhouette range is located facing west on the extreme left. Approved for this range are rifles and handguns of standard velocity of 22 long rifle only. The firing distances are set at 40, 60, 77, and 100 meters. The only approved targets are steel reactive, not closer than 10 meters, and paper. All firing will take place from the concrete pad. There will be no firing whenever people are forward of the 100-yard line on the high power line. The small bore silhouette range, if not in use, can also be used for archery. High power range. The high power range is located center facing west. Approved firearms are for rifles and handguns of 22 and up, no 50 BMGs. Targets at the right-hand berm, or the pig berm, are restricted to 308 class, as defined by the range design and construction guidelines. The firing distances are set at 50, 100, 150, 200, and 300 yards. Paper and steel reactive targets are approved, so silhouettes and silhouette swingers, not closer than 10 meters. Approved targets do not include garbage, electronics, glass, computers, or appliances. All firing will take place from the concrete pads or the raised line unless participating in a club-sanctioned activity or discipline. There will be no movement forward of the 100-yard line while the silhouette, handgun, or plinking range is live. Handgun range. Within the handgun range, you are approved to use handguns of any caliber. The firing distance is set at 50 yards, and the approved targets are steel reactive, not closer than 10 meters, and paper. All firing will take place from the concrete pads. In the case of firing at close range targets, the fire line will move forward to ensure all shots are captured in the covered terminal berm. Approved targets do not include garbage, glass, electronics, computers, or appliances. Again, there will be no firing whenever people are forward of the 100-yard line on the high-power range. Plinking range. The plinking range is located to the extreme right. Approved firearms for the plinking range include rifle, handguns, and shotgun. Approved ammunition for this range is a rimfire, muzzle loader of any caliber, and shotgun, all shot sizes, and slugs. All firing will take place from the area of the tables. In the case of firing at closer range targets, the firing line must move forward to ensure all shots are captured by the terminal berm. The firing distance is set at 50 yards. Approved targets are paper and stationary clay. Again, using garbage, glass, computers, electronics, or appliances as targets is prohibited. There will be no firing whenever people are forward of the 100-yard line on the high-power range. If not in use, the plinking range can also be used for archery. Adult members only may sponsor a guest. Guests, children, and adults are the responsibility of the sponsoring member. A guest may visit the range 2 times per year. Each time the sponsored guest must purchase a guest pass for $5. The pass is valid for the day of issue. This is to cover insurance and legal obligation. The guest pass is in 2 parts and are filled out by the sponsoring member. The small end of the pass, along with the fee, is to be placed in an envelope and placed in the box on the side of the bin. The large end is to be displayed by the guest while they are on the range. There is absolutely no alcohol or drugs allowed on any part of the range facility at any time. Any person suspected by the range safety officer to be under the influence of alcohol or drugs will not be permitted to shoot and will be asked to leave the range. General injury and emergency procedures. In case of a minor injury, make the firing line or incident area safe, stabilize the injuries, and obtain whatever medical aid is required. In case of major incident or gunshot injury, make the firing line or incident area safe, stabilize injuries, and obtain whatever medical aid is required. Preserve the incident scene to the maximum extent possible for future investigation. Close the range, leave guard if possible, and obviously notify the following. Notify the RCMP if gunshot injury is involved, the Yellowknife Shooting Club senior executive, the president, or vice president, or secretary, and chief range officer, and record the circumstances, detailing who was there, when did it happen, and what happened. All emergency information contact information will be posted at each and every single range. Thank you very much for listening to this quick presentation. I wish you the very best. Have a wonderful day.